Hey all, this is Dave, and today's big hairy idea is to get paid based on your results. So I was working on a section of this book that Han and I are writing all about money and how to hit financial independence. And in this section, Amber, our main character, is debating between two career paths. One, to stick with being an elementary school teacher as she has been, or to shift into something more in the private sector. And part of what she's debating is between the two methods of getting paid. The teaching side is very much based on Hannah's own experience as a school teacher in a public school, where teachers were compensated based on the numbers of degrees that they had and the number of years they've been in the system. Quality of teaching was a very small factor that went into your pay scale, if it was looked at all. Whereas in the private sector that Amber is looking at going into, it would be very much based on her results. But at the same time, it doesn't come with all of these things like summers off, like all these benefits packages, all these other things that go along with it. And there's something nice to her about having this package of everything together, where somebody's providing this whole package and there's certain rules about, okay, year one you're going to get paid this much, when you complete your master's degree you're going to get this much, then you'll get this type of raise every year, and you'll get these types of benefits, and everything is kind of giving it as an overall package. Whereas the other system was all about what you could go out and produce. And the upside was much, much higher, but also the floor is much lower, because if you don't produce much, you're not going to get much. And this to me is very similar to a question we ask on this money quiz that we have people do all the time. It's a quiz that helps you figure out, where are your beliefs around money at? Are there any issues that you have, a question that might be a hang-up that's stopping you from getting to the level that you really want to be achieving? And one of the questions that is asked, this isn't a quiz that we initially developed, one of the questions that is asked is, would you rather get paid for your time or paid for your results? And a huge percentage of the people that take this quiz tell us they'd really like to get paid for their time. You know, if I work 8 hours, I want to get paid for that time. Whereas my perspective has always been, you know what? Forget my time. If I work 8 hours and I don't actually produce anything worthwhile, I'd rather get nothing. But if I produce something tremendous during that time, well, then I really want to be tasting that upside. For me to be doing tremendous work and producing something that has huge impact, and to only get paid based on an hourly rate doesn't strike me as something I really want. And I don't really want to get paid if I don't produce something I'm happy with. In fact, when I've worked with people in the past, if they've come away feeling like, wow, my suggestions weren't something that they wanted to implement, they really didn't like the advice I gave them, I'd rather just take nothing for it. To me, like the idea of just getting paid because I sat with somebody and tried to give value but failed to do so, that didn't strike me as I don't want money like that. I'd much rather get results-based money. But most people, I think, tend to go the other side in terms of the idea of, you know what, I work a certain amount of time, I want to make sure that I'm getting paid for that amount of time. And they tend to value, well, what is my time worth? I'm worth at least X amount of dollars per hour. I work this many hours, I should get this much. Otherwise, to be working the whole day and have nothing to show for it, that doesn't feel so great. And it's two real different paradigms. And I think it's a little bit related to, well, how much are you willing to take responsibility for the results that you produce? And to me, I love having my output, like again, connected to, you know, what I'm taking home connected to what I'm producing. To me, it's such a one-to-one. And my time, you know, is not necessarily all that valuable in just as time itself goes, but what I produce, well, that's something. You know, there are days that I write, and at the end of the day, I look at what I've done and I say, you know what, this scene is not working at all, and I scrap the entire thing. An entire day is in the garbage. But that's okay. I'm learning something from that experience. I'd much rather throw it in the garbage than put out mediocre work, or, you know, put it into a book that is just not going to do so well and not going to sell so well. I'd rather make sure that everything I put out there is really strong, so when the books do hit the market, people read it and say, wow, I want to tell my friends about this book. I want to be buying the other books this guy is writing. I want to be connecting to whatever he's doing, because wow, this is really fantastic. But it means choosing to align yourself based on your results and getting compensated based upon that, and not based just on the time that you put in.